Camden is known as a vibrant cultural hotspot. With its huge array of restaurants across the borough and markets sampling international food, it generates over 20 billion a year, equivalent to 1.6% of the UK's total economy. However, recent figures have shown over 900,000 people visited food banks in 2013 and 14, a 163% rise across the UK, according to a leading poverty charity, the Trussell Trust, and benefit sanctions were touted as the primary reason for referral in 48% of cases. Two Trussell Trust food banks reside in Camden and Chalk Farm, out of 428 across the country. Dave White, a 24-year-old administrator at Chalk Farm Baptist Church's food bank, reiterated that Camden is no exception to these hard times.
One of the large ones is debt. You find a lot of people come in, that's the root cause, which has then caused other issues as well, but if you get down to it, it's debt. And then another thing, quite often people who come from the job centre, it is to do with benefits. And we find this is often a seasonal thing. There'll be certain times of the year where, because of whatever changes are happening, that sometimes the system doesn't always work, but sometimes you'll find that there's a delay or there's a change, and those are the times where just for those couple of weeks people might be struggling to get food. We also find there's various different peoples with long-term illness as well.
Dave expects their usual numbers to continue to climb coming up to Christmas.
Around 30 people coming every Saturday, but there's times of the year when that's risen up a lot higher. So I know last winter numbers did reach up to sort of in the 70s every single week. And there's also an element of, I guess, once the weather gets colder, money gets prioritised for heating, and then there's not enough for food. So it'll be interesting to see going into this winter now if the numbers do rise up again this year.
8,318 tonnes of food was donated by the public last year, and the Trussell Trust also relies on the charity of big and local businesses to continue helping a wide range of people.
So Tesco has an agreement with the Trussell Trust as a whole across the country, where a lot of the large Tesco stores, so we're linked to one in Finchley Central, which is a bit further out, but it's just the link that we have, and they have a permanent collection point there. And they also have special weekends across the country where all the Tesco stores that are partnered with food banks have weekends where volunteers are there to make a real visible presence. So on any given Saturday, you could have someone who used to own businesses and then just something happened and everything changed, down to people who've been looking for a job for a long time, or families who've recently moved to the area. So the one thing I have learnt doing this is just how diverse, and if you go into it expecting one particular sort of person as the sort of person that needs a food bank, that idea gets completely blown out the water when you see it could happen to anyone.